Hey guys, we got some cool fishing just now from one of my favorite countries in the world to visit, and also a really neat place to get fish from. It's Sri Lanka. It's an island off the coast of India. If you don't know where it is, I get it. A lot of people go blank when Sri Lanka or Ceylon comes up, but it's a really unique place. And they started exporting fish decades ago because they were really, really good at breeding live bearers for the most part, fancy guppies. That kind of put them on the map. So a lot of people in the hobby and trade think Sri Lanka, they think, farm raised live bearers, but it also has its unique ecosystems and endemic fish. And I visited Sri Lanka a couple times in the past and got to explore some of the aquatic habitats there in the freshwater brackish sides. And it's just beautiful. And they have such cool fish. So I'm going to be a little bit of a fish geek for a moment and show off not the really, really beautiful guppies or swordtails or live bearers or even the rams that we get from there, but some of the really unique endemic fish that are native to Sri Lanka and wild collected. The first species I want to show off is a killifish. Killifish are kind of their own niche in the hobby, and a lot of people get into killifish and are never seen or heard from again. So we usually just keep a couple in stock. This is a Panchax type killie. The yellow Panchax is really popular in the trade and hobby, but this is a native to the brackish and intertidal areas of Sri Lanka called the Parvis killie, Aplochylactis parvis, I believe. They have just a really beautiful pattern. These guys are just out of the bag. They're not showing their full color yet, but you can see that golden pearl pattern with those unique vertical bands. That's a really neat fish. They don't get quite as big or aggressive as some of the other Panchax, like the Gold Wonder killie or the Gold Wonder Panchax. These guys would be found in the wilds in central and southern Sri Lanka, basically in streams and estuaries. They get into brackish water, but are typically found more on the freshwater side of things, found in large aggregations where you'll have males fighting for another really cool fish that I know is not super bright, super colorful, or anything like that, but I like them because I've seen them in the wild and I've used them in aquariums. The Garra ceylonensis, Ceylon Garra. You may know the Garras as like the doctor fish, panda Garras. There's a couple in the trade that are pretty popular, but these guys are a native to Sri Lanka, and they're found in highland crystal clear streams in big aggregations. They're called locally they call them the stone sucker. So they're a sucker mouth type fish, and they clean off algae and biofilms off rocks in big streams. They're really pretty in the wild. They have under sunlight, and in the aquarium, one of the best benefits of this fish is that it's an incessant algae eater. And these guys will actually take care of blackbeard algae or black hair algae, which is a lot of fish won't eat. So I've used these in tanks, planted tank displays where I had blackbeard algae cropping up everywhere. They eliminate it very quickly. So it's not just a cool fish, but a functional fish for an aquascape or a big display. I may not be in the majority here, but I love brackish water fish, and I feel like they're underappreciated in the hobby. Somewhere between freshwater and salt, they never get the love of saltwater fish. And if there's such a thing, they may be too obscure for freshwater hobbyists. But there's some really amazing brackish water fish out there, and one of them was so neat is one of the only brackish water and marine cichlids in the world. So this is another native to Sri Lanka and southern India, the green or silver chromide. These fish are an ancient lineage of cichlid that separated off from Africa and the other neotropical cichlids like millions and millions of years ago. And they're the only cichlids native to South Asia. These guys are juveniles right now, and you'd find them in more fresh to light brackish areas, but they move in and out of up to full strength marine all the time. These guys get big, very showy with that pearl spotting and iridescent spot, like you can see on the backs of some of them now already starting to show it. These guys get as big as a dinner plate and are super unique in behavior, very intelligent. This is super cool fish that doesn't get a ton of appreciation in the hobby. These guys come to us from Sri Lanka, wild collected from the Negombo Lagoon. And that spot is right by the capital of Sri Lanka, the big city of Colombo. There's this enormous lagoon that, because of Sri Lanka's position in the Indian Ocean and the monsoon patterns, half the year it's very heavy salt, almost full marine, and then the other half of the year it goes very light freshwater. So it's a really interesting habitat where you get marine fish that go in there to feed and take advantage of the shelter and reproduce, and you've got freshwater and brackish species mixing in there too. So we always get super cool stuff from them. And having been to the lagoon and toured around it, I always get a kick thinking these collectors out there, they must be pretty fearless because it is full of saltwater crocodiles. That's kind of crazy. Yeah, when I was in there snorkeling, the one time I went in the water, it was clear water. I was actually looking at a group of chromides, a breeding group with a bunch of babies around them, and it was murky but clear enough I could see. I was close to mangrove. I saw how close I was to a salty. It was not a big crocodile, but I knew probably there was a big one nearby.